Hello, my loves. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I am so excited about today's video because this is something that I've been wanting to cover for a while. I know it's been in the back of my mind, but I needed to gather enough information to bring you this video. So, my guest for today is none other than Our Lady of Charity, or as she's known in Latin America, she is known as La Virgen de Caridad del Cobre. She is the go-to saint, virgin, whatever you want to call her, for matters concerning money. So anything having to do with money, prosperity, but also protection of the home, family, to bring back a lover. You know, if things have ended badly, if you want to mend fences or whatever, and also to bring in a new love. That is what she's commonly invoked for. Now, there are several images of her that you may see in your local botanica, if you see them out in, I don't know, about like in flea markets or things of that nature, where any business that has her image in there, you see that it's covered from head to toe with like dollar bills and what have you, loose change and petitions thanking her for prayers that were answered. But what really got me interested in her is her backstory. Now, when I was researching this, it was rather interesting to read about her and about how she came to be. Now, the story dates back in like the early 1600s, like around 1612, in a place called, it was originally called Santiago de Prago, or de Prado, I'm sorry, which is now El Cobre, which I'll get to that later. But these three men, there were three men involved in this story. There was two of which were brothers, and they were. I'm going to be looking back and forth from my notes between my notes and you guys. Rodrigo and Juan de Hoyos, and they were traveling with a third person, Juan Moreno, who was their, he was an African child slave. And their story is that they set sail on the Bay of Nipe to, in order to go bring back salt for the preservation of meat. Because I guess wherever they were, like their hometown at the time, what it was called at the time, Santiago de Prado, they needed the salt to preserve the meat, so they would provide them with food and other sustenance for them. So they needed to preserve the meat, so that's why they needed that salt. So when they set sail, they got caught in the middle of a storm, and of course, naturally, when you get caught in the middle of a storm, you're gonna panic. So the three men panicked, but then the youngest, which was his name was Juan Moreno, he was wearing a medal of the Virgin Mary, and he prayed to the Virgin Mary. And when the other two brothers saw what he was doing, they prayed with him. And just like that, miraculously, the rain stopped. The clouds parted, the water was calm, the rain stopped, and the boat stopped rocking, so they were safe. And they would later be known as the three Juans. So when it was all over, they noticed in the distance that there was something floating. Now, at first they thought it was like a dead bird, which, of course, it's natural. I mean, there was like thunderstorm, so they thought, okay, well, probably like a bird that got struck by lightning and, it's dead in the water. So they rowed their boat closer to that object that was floating, and then the water was like pushing it more and more like toward them. So when they finally got close enough to grab it, when they pulled it out of the water, it was a statue of the Virgin Mary. And attached to it was a board. There was a board on the bottom, and on the bottom of at the base of the statue, it said in Spanish, "Yo soy la Virgen de la Caridad." In English, "I am the Virgin of Charity." So they took this as a sign that, it was a sign from the Virgin Mary that their prayer was answered. And miraculously, the statue was dry when they pulled it out of the water. And you would think that being in the water for so long it was going to be wet. No, it was dry. So they knew that it was a miracle from the Virgin Mary. So they went back to their village, and they told the governor of what happened. And immediately he had a chapel built in her honor. Well, not long after the chapel was built, one of the men went to go visit her. That survived in the thunderstorm. He went to go visit her and noticed that the statue was missing. So, and the next day it would just miraculously return like if nothing happened. And this happened for 3 days. She kept disappearing and reappearing. So by this time already, like, it was okay. They were trying to figure out if someone was breaking into the church, or if, what was going on, because there's no way that she could have gotten up and just wandered off and then came back. But it was a real like head scratcher. It was a mystery. They were trying to figure it out. And then at some point after the third time that it happened, they were like, okay, no, she's telling us that this is where she wants to be. So they removed her from where she was, and then built her another chapel somewhere in another part of town. And the same thing kept happening. Like, the statue kept disappearing, and then one night it disappeared, and there was a huge search party for the statue, and nobody could find it. Nobody could find it. Nobody knew where it was. It's just as if it had, she'd miraculously come to life and just wandered off and was like, no, you know what? I'm not coming back, whatever. I'm going to go find my place. So what happened was that the next day there was a little girl playing in the fields, and of course she was picking flowers and chasing butterflies, what have you, doing things that a little girl does, that little girls do. And lo and behold, on top of a hill, she was right there. She had found the statue, and the statue was resting on top of a hill in what is now known as El Cobre. So then that's how she became La Virgen de Caridad del Cobre, because they found her on top of that small hill. And ever since then, they've built a chapel there to honor her. So every year, as a matter of fact, she just had her feast day on the 8th, September the 8th. So every year on September the 8th, they honor her for the miracles that she did, and thanking her for blessings, and or asking her to bless them with whatever, with good health, with money, with finding a partner, whatever the case may be. So she is so wonderful. I have worked with her before. She does help you if you come to her with an open heart, an open mind, she hears you. You just have to speak from your heart. Like I always tell you guys, when you pray to a saint, when you pray to a deity, be it the Virgin Mary, the Niño de Atocha, Saint Anthony, Saint Michael, any one of those saints that you have that is your protector, that is your spirit guide, they will protect you. They're there to hear you. You just have to speak from your heart. And I think that honestly that it's beautiful that these saints and variations of the Virgin Mary have these wonderful backstories attached to them about how they came to be. Because without that, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't know how to honor them. We wouldn't know what to give them. We wouldn't know what to say or what situation that they're commonly invoked for. So it's good to know, to have that, in the back of our minds and in our hearts as well. So her statue, or her church, is in Cuba. So I don't know if some of you guys have been over there. I haven't personally, but I would love to go. But if you would like to do research on her, I suggest you do so. Just type in Our Lady of Charity, and then it'll pull up information on Wikipedia, and it'll give you the location of where her church is and the backstory and all that good stuff. Now, as I mentioned before, she is invoked for bringing back a new love and bringing in a new love, depending on the situation. Don't mistake that for making another person fall in love with you. That's not what she does. That borders on black magic, and you really don't want to do that. But if you call on her to help you in that situation, the minute that person comes back, or if a new love comes in, thank her. Give her a gift, promise her something, give her some loose change, give her dollar bills, give her, you can write a petition paper thanking her for what she's done for you. In that instance, what helps is if you make a list of the things that you want in a relationship and the things that you don't want in a relationship. And now pay very close attention, because this is where this comes in handy. I don't want you to get confused. So the list of qualities that you don't want in a person, you're going to fold that away from you, because it's something that you're pushing out to make room for what's coming in. So don't make a list of bad qualities and then fold it toward you and then do it clockwise, because all those bad qualities, I guarantee you're gonna find a man or a woman with all those qualities that you don't want. So if you don't want those, fold it away from you, and then do it counterclockwise. Fold it again, counterclockwise. Fold it away again, counterclockwise. Keep doing it until you can't fold it anymore. And then what you do is you light that list on fire. And then just let it extinguish in a small dish. And the ashes, as it's burning, just think of all those things, those bad qualities, going away. That they're up in smoke, they're reduced to ashes, and they're no longer a part of your life anymore. Now, the list that you made of good qualities that you want in a person, fold that toward you, then turn it clockwise. fold it toward you again, turn it clockwise, fold it toward you again, turn it clockwise, as many times as you want, or you can fold it maybe once or twice or whatever. If you want to put it underneath the candle, I wouldn't fold it up in a little wad, because if you're going to put it underneath the candle, it's going to be slanted and you don't want that. So I would suggest folding it maybe once or twice, just like a little square, and folding it toward you. And then putting the oil, if you have oil with you, and they do have Our Lady of Charity anointing oil at the Botanica. So depending on where you're at, go to your local Botanica, get some oil of Our Lady of Charity, and anoint your candle clockwise with it. And you can also do Come to Me in clockwise motion. And you can also add red glitter into the candle if you want to enhance it. I mean, you want that love, but you want like a passionate love too. So it can have all those elements. But yeah, once you've done that, you light your candle. You say your intention, you light your candle, start a novena to Our Lady of Charity. Tell her what it is that you want. Be specific. And keep the novena going until you start seeing any sort of movement. So like that would be, sometimes it happens sooner. So like this is a 7-day candle, so if I light it today, it'll burn out maybe by the 3rd or 4th day, or maybe it might take a little bit longer. Some candles take longer to burn out than others. In my experience, I've had candles burn out 3 days after buying them. So the max may be 4. But that just means that my prayer's manifesting faster than expected. So yeah, but that being said, I mean, don't use Our Lady of Charity for ill intention, because as you all know, I believe in karma, and I'm sure the rest of you do, because whatever you do to somebody, it comes back on you, and it comes back threefold. So approach her with good intention, open your heart, your mind, clear your head of any negative thoughts. Tell her what it is that you want. Be specific in your petition. Start a novena to her, and let her take care of the rest. Now, as always, I love you guys. I appreciate everything that you do for me. I appreciate all your support, those comments. I love them. Keep them coming. And I have gotten such positive responses for my prayer service. So I still have slots open, guys. So if you want to get in on it, let me know. Send me an email. Briefly describe what it is you're going through, and then I can work with you on that situation. I can recommend the same for you, or I can do a candle ritual here for you if you want that extra support. Now I will include the link for my PayPal as well, because in my last video I didn't include it, so I just included my email and my Cash App, but I also will include my PayPal as well, so you guys can feel free to tip me or pay for the service, or whatever the case may be. But as always, thank you again, guys, for joining me today. I really enjoyed spending this time with you, and I look forward to many more. Take care of yourselves, be safe, and I will see you on the next video.